Greetings, dear viewers. This is Jason Triefenbach for Ecstatic Agendas. If you enjoy these short video updates, show me some love below, like and or subscribe, and we'll make heaven a place on earth. Today I would like to talk just briefly about a couple of strands of inquiry that are taking up a lot of my brain space lately, and that is, on the one hand, magical thinking, and on the other, ecological thinking. In my master's program currently, I am focused a lot on the idea of coupled human natural systems, the ways that human society and natural ecosystems interact for better or worse. Now, in the news about a week ago, October 4th, in the Willamette Week, a local paper here in Portland, Oregon, I read an article called Celebration of Life Planned for Heritage Oak Tree in Overlook. Overlook is one of our neighborhoods here in town. And the story briefly is that a hundreds of year old oak tree has been infected with a deadly fungal virus, and the city has mandated that the owners of the property need to remove it. As sad as this is, it makes sense, and the owners are on board with this idea because we don't want this virus to spread to other trees. This is kind of an issue lately in Portland. So before they have the tree removed, the owners have announced that they're planning to hold a celebration of life ceremony for this tree and invite friends and family and neighbors and community members to come and share memories of the tree, make rubbings of the bark and the leaves, and generally sort of, honor the presence and the lifespan of this tree, which has been a big part of the neighborhood for a great number of years. This, when I read this, it gelled with me in terms of another article that I had read for class. This is from a science journal, and I'm going to quote really briefly. The paper is called Cultural Keystone Species, Implications for Ecological Conservation and Restoration by Anne Garibaldi and Nancy Turner. And they say, we need to restore not only landscapes, but also the diversity enhancing capabilities of the human communities inhabiting those landscapes. And they go on to quote another author, G. P. Nabhan, from an article from 1991, and he says, to truly restore these landscapes, we must also begin to re-story them, to make them the lessons of our legends and festivals and seasonal rites. And this really excited me, and it's again kind of along my own lines of thinking about ways that we can promote ecological thinking by making it the backdrop and perhaps even the protagonist of new cultural stories and maybe a fresh treatment of existing social rituals, holidays, ceremonies, milestones, and the like. Now, conversely, I want to now mention, in terms of my magical education, something that my teacher Jack Grayle said recently online, which, just to paraphrase and extrapolate from his words, is that the spirits and the forces and the gods that we as magical practitioners are calling are not some original ancient versions of those beings, but are in a way new and very personalized expressions of them that are called forth and embodied as sort of a synthesis of the stories we know of them, but also of our own matrix of mind and body and spirit. And that we don't have to be constrained by a traditional representation of, say, Hecate or Odin or the Archangel Michael, and that instead we should envision them in a form that is useful and exciting to us as individuals. And yeah, this week I've just both of these ideas from the ecological perspective as well as the sorceress magical perspective have really been rattling around in my brain. And I think in some ways our pop culture, our pop monoculture paradigm encourages us often to feel powerless against seemingly unstoppable apocalyptic forces of breakdown and disillusion. Some of our culture's most popular stories come to us in the form of movies and television shows, and I think the ones that are really the blockbusters nowadays are not about heroism and renewal, but are rather about greed and suffering and distrust and defeat. So, in this paradigm, I think it behooves us as individuals to recognize that, recognize what sort of a diet we're feeding our brains. And I think we should ask ourselves if we are nourishing our own capacities for empathy and renewal and victory, or if we are starving those higher aspirations of the human spirit. Thank you.